country. Does he think that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer should drop a potentially divisive Senate impeachment trial?
Well, he spoke today, as you all saw, about unity in his inaugural address and the importance of unity in bringing the country together and the resolve of the American people in helping to get through this moment. We are confident, though, that just like the American people can, the Senate can also multitask, and they can do their constitutional duty while continuing to conduct the business of the American people. And his view is that the way to bring the country together is to address the problems we're facing. And so that means getting this COVID relief package through, having Democrats and Republicans take a serious look at that and have conversations with each other about how to move it forward. And he's going to leave the mechanics, the timing, and the specifics of how Congress moves forward on impeachment to them.
And a quick follow-up. On President Trump's inauguration day, he filed paperwork to run for re-election, saying that does President Biden have any plans to do that today, late, or in the coming days?
I will say, having talked to him today, his focus is not on politics. It is on getting to work and solving the problems of the American people. And as he noted on the campaign, he will wait until sometime into his first term to speak more about his political plans moving forward. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. The President pledged today to repair alliances. Has he planned his first foreign trip yet?
Well, we're only 7 hours in here. You're ready for the foreign trip? I'm ready too. I don't have any details on a foreign trip to lay out for you at this point in time. Hopefully, we will at some point in time. Go ahead all the way in the back.
Hi, congratulations on your new position. Owen Jensen with EWTN Global Catholic Network. Two big concerns for pro-life Americans. The Hyde Amendment, which of course keeps taxpayer dollars, as you know, from paying for abortions, Medicaid abortions, and the Mexico City policy, which under the previous administration they expanded to keep tax dollars from overseas paying for abortions. So what is President Biden planning on doing in those two items right now?
Well, I think we'll have more to say on the Mexico City policy in the coming days. But I will just take the opportunity to remind all of you that he is a devout Catholic and somebody who attends church regularly. He started his day attending church with his family this morning, but I don't have anything more for you on that. Go ahead.
Yeah, as President-elect, he talked about the possibility of using the Defense Production Act to ramp up the production of vaccines. Having looked at more data, does he still feel that's necessary? Was that included, for example, in anything that he signed today?
We'll stay tuned. We'll do this again tomorrow, and there may be more specifics to share on plans on COVID tomorrow. I expect there will be, including more details on the Defense Production Act. He absolutely remains committed to invoking the Defense Production Act in order to get the supply and the materials needed to get the vaccine out to Americans across the country, and remains committed to his goal of getting 100 million shots in the arms of Americans in the first 100 days. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. The President talked really about unity today, and I've heard from people who say, well, that's just talk. They want to know what action they're going to see to show that kind of unity. Peter mentioned impeachment. Can you tell us what kind of action we can expect to see that will assure people that he wants to reach out to people who voted for him and people who did not?
Sure. Well, first, I think anybody who has covered President Biden for some time or worked for him or spent time with him knows that he is somebody who always sees the optimistic side of working with people who may disagree with him, people across the aisle, and that has long been his commitment and desire through his many decades in public service. So his own history tells you how committed he is. But, part of it is his words, which he shared today with the American public on quite a big stage. Also his actions. He has reached out to not just Democratic members of Congress, but also Republicans. Not just Democratic governors, but also Republicans. Not just Democratic mayors, but also Republicans. And he said today in his speech, the biggest platform most presidents have through the course of their presidency, that he will govern for all Americans. And that of course has to be backed up by actions, as you conveyed, but he's going to venture to do that in every policy he pursues, every engagement he has, because he feels if we can come together, we'll be a stronger country. Go ahead.
Jen, will you seek a death penalty moratorium under this administration?
The president, as you know, has stated his opposition to the death penalty in the past. That remains his view. I don't have anything more for you in terms of future actions or mechanisms, though. I'll circle back if there's more I can share with you.
Lighter note, will he keep Donald Trump's Air Force One color scheme change?
This is such a good question. I have not had the opportunity to dig into that today, given the number of executive actions, orders, the inauguration, a few things happening. I will venture to get you an answer on that, and maybe we can talk about it in here tomorrow.
Judge, one quick one before we let you go. As a follow-up to Peter's question, does President Biden believe that President Trump needs to be held accountable for the Capitol insurrection a couple of weeks ago? And does that accountability require that President Trump be barred from holding future federal office?
Well, Zeke, he has spoken very firmly and fiercely, publicly, about his views of the horrific events on January 6th. And he has also, of course, spoken with members of Congress about that, as you all know. But he is going to leave it to members of Congress to carry out their constitutional duty and determine what the path forward is and what the mechanisms are going to be, what the process will be, and what the timeline will be. Certainly, he ran against Donald Trump because he did not think he was fit to serve in office long before the events of January 6th. He is here today because he decided to run against him, but we're focusing on moving forward. We're focusing on addressing the issues facing the American public, and as you know, that means we're focused on our COVID package. Go ahead.
If I can follow up on that a little bit, Jen, is the president being updated, first of all, on the progress of the FBI investigation? And we know the FBI is leading the investigation into the assault on the Capitol. Does President Biden have confidence in FBI Director Wray?
Well, Peter, as you noted, there's an ongoing investigation, which we certainly support. I'm not sure that he has received an update today on anything about the investigation, but we certainly support those ongoing, and we will, I'm sure, be receiving updates in the days ahead.
Do you have confidence in the FBI Director?
I think I have not spoken with him about specifically FBI Director Wray in recent days, Peter, but I'll circle back with you if there's more to convey.
Jen, the president did not mention the word Trump in his inaugural address today. What was the intention behind not making any direct reference to his predecessor in that speech?
Well, I think the intention was to make the speech not about any individual, elected official, any current president, former president, but make it about the American people and the moment we're facing in history right now, the struggles that millions of Americans are facing who don't have jobs, the fear people have about the health of their grandparents and their cousins and their brothers, and to make it more about the strength of the American people when they come together, and not about any individual. But as you saw in his speech, it was forward-looking. It was not meant to look back on the past. Go ahead.
How does President Biden plan to reform the United States image around the world, and what is his priority globally?
Well, his priority is first rebuilding our partnerships and alliances around the world and regaining America's seat at the global table. And you can see that is evidenced in his rejoining the Paris Climate Agreement, rejoining the World Health Organization, his plans to engage with partners and allies and work together to address many of the threats and issues we're facing around the world. But I think that is what you will see as his focus in the weeks ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.